Apple held its Far Out event on September 7th, and they released a ton of new hardware, including 4 new iPhones, the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Plus, iPhone 14 Pro, and iPhone 14 Pro Max, a trio of new Apple Watch models, the Apple Watch Series 8, Apple Watch SE, and Apple Watch Ultra, and the next generation of its AirPods Pro wireless earbuds. There is a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. The iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max come in 4 colors: space black, silver, gold, and deep purple. Both devices feature a slightly new design with what Apple calls a dynamic island in place of the notch at the top of your display. This serves as a starting and stopping point for new alerts and notifications, so you can easily access them without leaving the screen you're on. Apple kept the 6.1-inch and 6.7-inch display for the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, but increased the peak brightness to 2000 nits and, for the first time ever in an iPhone, made it an always-on display. And even with that always-on display, Apple estimates the battery life of the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max will stay strong enough to power through an entire day of use. Other than the new pill replacing the notch, the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max are pretty much the same on the outside, but they are even more impressive on the inside. The Pro line features a new A16 Bionic processor, which is a 4-nanometer chip with nearly 16 billion transistors. And Apple needs all of that computing power to drive the upgraded 48-megapixel camera with its quad-pixel sensor. The ultra-wide camera and telephoto camera are both 12 megapixels. The iPhone 14 Pro will start at $999, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max starts at $1,099. Pre-orders start on Friday, September 9th, and availability begins a week later on September 16th. Next, the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. The base iPhone 14 models now come in 6.1-inch and 6.7-inch display sizes with 1200 nits peak brightness for outdoor viewing. Inside is an A15 Bionic processor. Yes, that is the same that was used in the iPhone 13, but a year later after its initial release, Apple is still touting the performance of the processor as a benefit to iPhone 14 users. But notice I didn't mention an iPhone mini, and that's because Apple is doing away with the mini and replacing it with a larger plus size. But don't worry, you can still purchase the mini from the iPhone 13 lineup if that is a size that you really desire and want. On the outside, the iPhone 14 looks like the iPhone 13 overall, with the same notch cutout at the top of the screen for the true depth sensor that's used for Face ID to unlock the phone or approve Apple Pay payments. And you can pick a color to suit your personality from the 5 available: Midnight, Starlight, Blue, Purple, and Product Red. Of course, most users are very interested in the camera upgrades. The iPhone 14 has a new 12-megapixel main camera with a larger sensor and an f-stop of 1.5 to collect more light. The ultra-wide camera stays at 12 megapixels, while Apple included a new 12-megapixel true depth camera with autofocus for FaceTime video calls or taking selfies. The iPhone 14's camera also gets a new feature called Photonic Engine. Apple uses its Deep Fusion image processing earlier in the photographic process, capturing more detail, color, and lighting. Another new feature is Action Mode, a video stabilizing feature that helps steady video when you're running to capture the perfect shot. Apple's also making a big push for customers to switch over from a plastic SIM card to an eSIM that's embedded in the phone and can be programmed and changed with the tap of a button or two. In fact, Apple has removed the SIM card tray from all 4 iPhone 14 and 14 Pro models. eSIM or bust, right? Now onto some really cool life-saving features that iPhone has implemented into the iPhone 14 lineup, including the Pro models. The newest iPhones can now detect if you're in a car accident and alert emergency responders and your emergency contacts to your location. And Apple has taken safety a step further by offering a new satellite connectivity feature that allows your iPhone 14 to connect to satellites when you're in an area with no cellular service, in order to contact emergency responders and request help. Emergency SOS via satellite uses the iPhone 14's antennas to connect directly to a satellite, with the phone telling you exactly where to point it to ensure a direct connection. You'll even be able to send messages using the new feature. Emergency SOS will be free for 2 years, starting with the iPhone 14 in the US and Canada, and launches in November. The iPhone 14 starts at $799, while the iPhone 14 Plus starts at $899. Pre-orders start September 9th, and availability begins for the iPhone 14 on September 16th, but the Plus isn't available until October 7th. Of course, Apple did not forget about the iPhone's partner in crime, releasing the Apple Watch Series 8 and Apple Watch SE. These feature a similar design to the Series 7, but the Series 8 gains a new temperature sensor that means it can help track menstrual cycle and ovulation windows. That isn't the only advanced health tracking feature that the Watch 8 offers, bringing with it feature favorites from the previous models, including sleep tracking, ECG, heart rate tracking, and blood oxygen. The Watch SE shares some of these features, like irregular rhythm notification and cycle tracking, but for a lower price. And just like the new iPhone 14 models, the Watch Series 8 and SE now offer crash detection, which could prove incredibly useful to have activated directly on your wrist in the case of an accident where your phone may not be easily reached or found. Officially stepping into the rugged watch field, the Apple Watch Ultra looks to be a direct competitor with Garmin watches. This is the largest Apple Watch to date, with a 49mm titanium case and a display that offers 2,000 nits of brightness at its peak. But you don't always want your watch face that bright, so you can simply turn the digital crown to activate night mode, turning the watch face black and red. On the side of the Ultra is the orange action button, which is customizable for each watch, making it easy to quickly control a workout, begin a dive, start your hike, or trigger other workouts or activities. GPS antenna has been added to offer precision GPS tracking to accurately locate the watch for calculating distance, pace, and route maps. Speaking of accurately tracking your location, Apple has added emergency SOS to the Ultra as well, so users and their family can rest a little easier knowing even in the most remote locations, the satellite tracking can still help find them or their loved ones. The Ultra touts a 36-hour battery life in normal use or 60 hours of battery life when running on the new low power mode. And the Apple Watch Ultra can be yours for $799, and all versions include cellular connectivity. And finally, Apple added the second generation of the AirPods Pro to its lineup, doubling the earbuds noise cancellation and more. Keeping the same design, the second gen Pro earbuds now tout an H2 chip that makes possible the noise cancellation boost and also improves the adaptive transparency feature that will now reduce sounds like heavy construction or a passing vehicle siren. Another design improvement is the battery. The second gen AirPods Pro packs 6 hours of listening time with active noise cancellation turned on from a single charge, while the charging case has a battery life of 30 hours. To charge the case, in addition to the regular plug-in lightning cable, you can now use the Apple Watch charger or a MagSafe charger. And Apple now includes 4 sets of headphone ear tips to maximize comfort levels for each user, adding extra small tips to the standard small, medium, and large ones. You can snag a pair of the AirPods Pro second generation for $249. And that does it. A ton of new hardware and some exciting innovations. As always, ZDNet will be getting all of these devices to review and to compare to similar devices, so make sure to come back and check out those reviews as well. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stick with ZDNet.